The galaxy was full of voices, yet one cry for help stood apart. It was weak, fading like an old star that burned its last fire. The message came from the throne world of the Veari Empire, once a proud and powerful race. But now their strength was broken. At the heart of their crumbling empire lay their queen, ancient and diseased, hidden in the sealed halls of her palace. No alien dared step close to her. Fear spread faster than the sickness itself. Her court fled. Her servants kept distance, and even her generals left her to rot on a throne of silence. The disease was not like any common plague. Whispers said it was cursed, a punishment of the stars, a slow decay of body and mind. For decades she endured, her empire fading with her. When the desperate call for help reached human space, most leaders dismissed it. Why risk human lives for a dying queen of another race? They had their own troubles, their own people to protect. But one man, a medic named Dr. Marcus Hale, read the message again and again. Marcus was not famous, though in some colonies he was remembered as the man who had saved miners from a strange fever, or the soldier who had patched up comrades when machines failed. He was young compared to the old powers of the galaxy, yet he had one thing the others lacked. He was not afraid to try. When he stood before the council and volunteered to go, many thought he was a fool. Some laughed, some shook their heads. No human dare get close, they told him. Even the Veari themselves will not approach her. You will walk into death. Marcus only said, if no one dares, then she dies for certain. But if I try, there is still a chance. And so he went. The journey was long. The Queen's world was far, past abandoned outposts and dead colonies. The ship that carried Marcus trembled as it descended through gray skies filled with dust storms. From orbit, the planet looked wounded. Great cities half dark, towers broken, streets empty. Once this world must have been alive with color and song. Now it was a husk, waiting for its queen to either heal or vanish. When Marcus stepped onto the landing platform, he was greeted not by honor guards, but by a council of tired faces. The Veari were tall, their skin pale silver, their eyes dim with worry. None smiled. You are the human medic? One asked. Yes, Marcus replied simply. You are too late, another muttered. She has weeks, maybe days, and if you enter her chamber, you may never return. Marcus only tightened the strap of his medical bag. Then I had better not waste time. They led him through long halls of the palace. The air smelled of dust and fear. Walls that once shone with light now cracked with age. Statues of past rulers seemed to watch him with sorrow. The further they went, the quieter it became. Servants and soldiers kept their distance, whispering like shadows. Finally, they stopped before a set of sealed doors, tall and ancient. The queen is within, said the council guide. His voice shook as he added, no one has touched her in many years. Marcus placed his hand on the cold metal. Then she must be very lonely, he said softly. With a slow breath, he entered. The chamber was dim, lit only by faint blue crystals that gave little warmth. At the center stood the throne, high and sharp like a mountain peak. And upon it, slumped like a fading flame, was the queen. She was larger than Marcus expected, her frame tall and draped in robes that once must have been rich. Her skin, once smooth silver, was cracked with black lines that spread like veins of ash. Her breath was shallow, her eyes half closed. She looked ancient, yet in her presence Marcus felt the weight of centuries. When she noticed him, her gaze sharpened, and her voice, though weak, still carried command. Another comes to watch me die. Marcus bowed slightly. No, I came to help you live. The queen gave a dry laugh that turned into a cough. Bold words, human. Even my own healers abandoned me. Then let me be the one who did not. Marcus stepped closer, ignoring the whispers in his mind that told him to fear. He saw her wounds, her skin, the strange patterns that looked both like disease and something artificial. He set down his bag and began to scan her with simple tools. His hands were steady, his heart calm. He had seen many kinds of sickness before, fevers, wounds, infections. But this was different. It was as if her body fought itself, breaking down while something foreign grew within. The queen watched him work with tired eyes. Why do you care, human? My people would rather see me gone. Because no life should be left alone to suffer, Marcus answered. And because sometimes one person can change everything. Outside the chamber, the council waited in uneasy silence. Some hoped the human might succeed. Others whispered of plots, wondering if it was better to let the queen die so they could seize power. Inside, Marcus ignored all of it. He listened only to the faint heartbeat of the queen and the slow rasp of her breath. He did not yet know if he could cure her. He did not yet understand the true nature of her sickness. But he had made a choice, and he would not turn back. For the first time in years, the queen of the Veyari felt a hand near her that did not tremble with fear. And though she said nothing, a flicker of light returned to her eyes. The chamber of the queen was silent except for the faint hum of Marcus's scanner. He moved carefully, shining soft lights over her skin, checking her pulse, listening to her weak breathing. The disease was strange. It was not just sickness of the body. It looked like something that had grown into her, like roots of a dead tree wrapping around a living one. Marcus kept notes on a small device. "Your body is fighting, but not against something natural," he said gently. "It feels like this was made." "Not born," the queen's lips curved faintly. "You see what my own healers refused to speak. They called it a curse, but I knew it was something more." She coughed, and the sound echoed painfully through the chamber. Marcus steadied her with a hand, not caring about the risk. Her skin was hot and cold at the same time, trembling under his touch. Outside the chamber, the palace grew restless. Rumors spread like fire. Some whispered that the human had already died, consumed by the sickness. Others said he had found the secret to the queen's survival and would use it to control the empire. The council argued in dark corners. One young noble, sharp-eyed and ambitious, hissed to the others, "If the human succeeds, the queen will rise again, and our chance to rule will vanish. Better she fades quietly and the empire can choose a new leader." But not all agreed. Some still loved their queen, remembering her strength in wars long past. They prayed the human would do what none dared before. Marcus, inside the chamber, kept working. Hours passed as he studied samples, comparing them to records in his medical database. He injected small doses of human-made nanites to trace how the corruption spread inside her. The results shocked him. The disease was half living, half machine. Microscopic fragments, like broken shards of ancient technology, moved through her veins. They were tearing her apart bit by bit, yet also keeping her alive in some twisted balance. "This is not nature," Marcus said aloud. "This was built. Someone wanted this to happen to you." The queen's eyes narrowed, tired but sharp. "Then I was betrayed." Marcus hesitated. "Do you know who could have done this?" She closed her eyes. Memories flickered across her mind. Old rivals, wars long ended, enemies who feared her power. "There were those who envied me," she whispered. "Long ago they spoke of weapons that could wound without killing. Perhaps this was one of them." As Marcus worked, he also spoke with her, learning about her life. She told him of the rise of her empire, of battles fought across the stars, of worlds joined under her banner. Her voice softened when she spoke of her people's first songs, the unity they once held. "But now they are afraid," she said bitterly. "Afraid of me, afraid of the sickness. I sit here alone on a throne while they wait for me to vanish." Marcus looked at her firmly. "You are not gone yet. If you still breathe, there is still a chance." The queen studied him. No one had spoken to her like that in years. Most bowed and whispered. This human looked her in the eyes and refused to let her fade. Days passed. Marcus tried many treatments, balancing human science with alien knowledge. Some failed, but each failure gave him more understanding. He discovered that the corrupted fragments inside her responded strangely to his nanites. They were hostile at first, but when he adjusted the frequency, they slowed, as if listening. It is like they want to follow new orders, Marcus realized, but the process was dangerous. To test stronger methods, he would have to expose himself to the same fragments. If he miscalculated, the disease could take him too. When he explained this to the queen, she said, "Leave it. I'm already old. You should not risk yourself for me." Marcus shook his head. "Life is life. Age does not change its worth. If I came all this way only to stand back, then I would be no different than those who abandoned you." For a moment, the queen was silent. Then she whispered, "You are either the bravest man I have met or the most foolish." "Maybe both," Marcus replied with a faint smile. Meanwhile, the council grew impatient. They gathered outside the sealed chamber, debating loudly. "The human has been inside too long," one elder said. "He brings danger to all of us." "We should remove him," another demanded, but others shook their heads. "If we open the doors, the sickness may spread. Better to leave him." If he fails, we lose nothing. If he succeeds, perhaps our queen returns. Still, the ambitious young noble spoke in secret with soldiers. If he succeeds, we lose our chance at power. We must be ready. Inside, Marcus began the riskiest part of his work. He injected himself with a weakened strand of the fragments, carefully monitored by his own devices. His body trembled as the corruption touched his blood. He felt cold, then burning hot, as if fire and ice fought inside him. The queen watched with wide eyes. "You risk everything," she said. Marcus forced a breath. "I need to know how it works in a human body. If I understand it, I can cure you." Hours passed in pain. His vision blurred, but he did not stop recording results. Slowly, he found a rhythm, a balance between his nanites and the fragments. His body began to resist, then push back, forcing the corruption into retreat. Finally, exhausted but alive, Marcus whispered, "Yes, this could work. If I can adjust it for you, it might give your body strength again." The chamber was quiet except for the soft hum of Marcus's devices and the slow, uneven breath of the queen. Outside, the council waited, tense and uncertain. Marcus knew this would be the moment of truth. What he had learned over the past days would either save her or claim him as well. He examined the queen's veins again. The fragments inside her blood were still moving, slow but deliberate, as if aware of his presence. Marcus adjusted the nanites one last time, calibrating them to interact directly with the fragments, carefully giving them a new pattern to follow, a pattern of life instead of decay. "You may feel discomfort," Marcus warned, as he gently pressed a sensor to her arm. "It will pass. Trust me." The queen watched silently, her ancient eyes narrowing with determination. "I trust no one easily, but I trust you, human." As the nanites entered her system, the fragments reacted violently at first. They surged, twisting in her veins, making her gasp. Marcus held her hand firmly, refusing to let fear take hold. He whispered calmly, "Breathe. Focus on the rhythm. Let it flow." Outside the chamber, the council's arguments grew louder. "We should intervene," one shouted. "He's risking too much." A few elders held their tongues. They had seen humans perform strange feats before, but none like this. Some even recalled tales of humans who faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Could this be another such tale? Inside, the queen's body shook. Marcus worked tirelessly, adjusting frequencies, monitoring reactions. Sweat dripped from his brow, his own body trembling under the strain. The fragments fought back, resisting change, but Marcus had learned their pattern. Slowly, the fragments began to align with the new nanite code, like soldiers finally taking orders. "Almost there," Marcus muttered. He pressed his hand to her forehead, feeling the faint warmth return, the slow pulse of life growing stronger. The queen coughed, then took a deep breath, longer and steadier than she had managed in decades. "It burns," she whispered, "but it feels alive again." "Yes," Marcus said softly, smiling despite exhaustion. "It is alive. And so are you." Outside, the young, ambitious noble frowned, sensing something had changed. The whispers and plots were useless now. Their schemes could not touch the human and the queen. Slowly, even the council began to sense it. Something incredible was happening within the sealed chamber. Hours passed. The fragments continued to integrate, their movements slowing, no longer hostile but synchronized. Marcus's eyes, though tired, shone with triumph. The queen's breathing grew steady, her skin warm to the touch. The old cracks in her body began to fade, not entirely gone, but balanced. The ancient disease that had threatened to claim her for decades was held in check. She raised her head slowly, looking at Marcus with strength returning. "I feel different," she said. "I feel hope," Marcus nodded. "You are not fully healed. That will take time. But you are stable. Your body or your empire can survive." Her eyes glistened. "You have done what no Veyari could. You have touched my life without fear. You have restored something I thought lost forever. Human, Thank you." Marcus shook his head. "I only did what needed to be done. Courage is not about the body. It is about the choice to act when others will not." The queen slowly rose from her throne, still weak but standing taller than she had in years. The fragments inside her had settled into a delicate balance, something new, something neither fully natural nor artificial. Marcus realized the true marvel. He had not only stopped the decay but had given her a second chance at life, something no one else could. Outside, the palace doors opened. The council and soldiers peeked inside. They gasped as they saw her standing, her presence commanding yet not threatening. The queen's eyes scanned the room. "The human who dared enter my chamber has restored me," she said clearly. "Let all who feared me learn. Courage and loyalty can come from the most unexpected places." The ambitious young noble paled. The lesson was clear. Power was not only taken by strength or fear, but also by the courage to act when everyone else hesitated. In the following days, Marcus helped the queen regain strength. He trained with the Veari healers, sharing knowledge of human medicine, learning from alien biology in turn. Together, they crafted methods to control the fragments inside her blood, not eradicating them entirely, but balancing them. The queen's people watched in awe, slowly realizing that the human who dared what no one else could was not only their savior, but also an ally who bridged two civilizations. She addressed her court. "Let all know this human, Marcus Hale, has proven that life is worth fighting for, that courage can transcend species, and that one man can change the fate of an empire." Applause and murmurs filled the halls. The once divided factions now united, seeing the future not as a threat but as a challenge they could face together. Marcus packed his equipment, preparing to return home. The queen approached him. "Human," she said, "you came into a room filled with fear and decay. You left it filled with life and hope. Your kind has shown us what it means to be brave in the face of impossible odds." Marcus smiled faintly. "I did what anyone should. I acted when others could not." The queen held out a hand and he shook it firmly. "Then remember this, Marcus Hale. The galaxy will always have dangers, but it will also have those who dare. You have earned a place among those who shape the stars, not merely live beneath them." As the ship lifted from the planet, Marcus looked back at the palace. The queen stood on her balcony, surrounded by her people, her figure strong again. He realized that in saving her, he had saved not just a life, but an entire civilization, and proved once more that humanity could rise to meet any challenge the stars offered. In that moment, he felt a quiet pride. He had risked everything, faced what no human had faced before, and emerged not just alive, but triumphant. And somewhere in the depths of the universe, the Veari would remember the human who dared what none else could. Forever a hero, not because of weapons or armies, but because he had the courage to care. The galaxy was vast. Challenges would come again. But Marcus Hale, the desperate human medic who dared the impossible, had shown that humanity's spirit could not be broken even by fear, disease, or time itself. The story of the old diseased queen and the brave human would echo across worlds, a tale of courage, wisdom, and hope.